Welcome, Virgo. Welcome to your May reading. The first deck that we're starting with today is the Norse mythology deck for the solar transit through the sign of Aries. On the bottom of the deck, we have Hafgufa. Hafgufa is of the suit of Hav, and it's about emotional bonds, internal cycles, memory, and emotional transformation. So Hafgufa is the legendary sea monster, gigantic and invisible, often mistaken for an island, symbolizing fear of the unknown, invisible power, powerful intuition. Hafgufa is what lies beneath the surface. So that's on the bottom of the deck, so the shadow of the reading today. The first card we have for you, Virgo, is Brisingamen. Brisingaмен's of the suit of Fee, which is the suit associated with material goods, stability, concrete desires, but also of attachment, accumulation, loss, and transformation of value. So it's kind of almost like the earth suit, I guess, so it's very relevant for Virgo. And this is Freya's precious necklace, a symbol of beauty and power, symbolizing charm, creativity, seductive energy. Brisingamen invites you to cultivate your personal power with grace. So interesting that in the true sky, we currently have Venus in the sign of Taurus, which could very easily be trining your Virgo placements. The next one we have is also of the suit of Fee, which is Draupnir. So Draupnir is the magical ring that multiplies its wealth every 9 nights. So there's a sacred 9 in there, symbolizing abundance, prosperity that renews itself, constant growth. Draupnir invites you to sow to reap more. So that's a fantastic card as your crowning card for May. Then we have Tyr. So Tyr is in the main pantheon, or the main arcana in this tarot, and it's Tyr is known as the judge. Tyr is the god of law, courage, and sacrifice. To keep a pact and protect the gods, he's offered his right hand to the wolf Fenrir. Tyr represents impartial justice, truth that requires courage, and moral responsibility even when it's painful, symbolizing truth, fairness, responsibility. Tyr encourages you to do what is right, even if it costs. Act with integrity. Honor is more valuable than victory. I wouldn't find it too hard for a Virgo to do that. However, it's linked in here with this abundance and wealth as well. Next card we have is Niflheim, and this is of the suit of Ys. The suit of Ys is the cards that speak of limits, boundaries, emotional chill, but also resilience, rebirth, and mystery. So here we have the kingdom of ice and fog, cradle of primordial immobility, symbolizing silent origin, hidden potential, deep calm. Niflheim is the 0 point. Everything can be born from here. And that's flanking our central card for this reading, which is the Viking, who's also of the suit of Hav, which is the water suit. And here we have the Hersia of Hav, warrior of the sea, tireless explorer and raider. He lives driven by the wind and the waves. The Viking is movement, the hunger for discovery, and the emotions of the unknown. It is the restless force that does not tolerate quiet. that seeks new depths, symbolizing journey, desire, emotional research. The Viking invites you to move, to leave the safe harbor and follow the call of the soul. So if you do that, it seems to be saying that this wealth is linked in here, this ever-renewing 9 days wealth. Something about travel and leaving the safe harbor. The next one we have is the Gjallarhorn, and this is also of the suit of Fee, which is our earth or riches kind of suit. And the Gjallarhorn is Heimdall's horn, which will announce Ragnarok and call the gods to battle, symbolizing an important call, awakening, powerful communication. Gjallarhorn urges you to make your voice heard. The next one we have is Hoda. So Hoda is of the main deck. So Hoda is regarded in this tarot as the sacrifice. Hoda is Baldar's blind brother, the one who, deceived by Loki, delivers the fatal blow. He is a symbol of broken balance and the need to find it again, symbolizing balance, healing, harmony. Hoda represents the search for inner harmony, the fusion of opposites, the patience that heals. Hoda invites you to mix your conflicting parts, to find the middle way. Transformation requires time and grace. So there's a transformative process going on, because this is about the new beginning, the Niflheim, and this is a very transformative card. And then at the base here under the Viking, we have our only rune here in these main cards is Kaunan. So Kaunan is the symbol of fire and transformation through pain, so similar to Hoda. So that's like double meaning there, symbolizing transformation, revelation, growth through difficulties. Kaunan indicates a moment of profound change. So this change and then this journey leading to riches. And then the last card we have here for the main deck is Naglfar, which is of the suit of Harv. And it's the ship made of dead men's nails, under construction on the shore of Helheim, from where it will sail to Ragnarok, symbolizing transition, end of an emotional cycle, acceptance. Naglfar takes away what is accomplished. So wow, that's really powerful. So even though it is linked here with this Viking and this charm aspect too. Okay, the next cards I'm going to use to clarify are the pagan otherworlds. On the bottom of the deck, we have the 9 of Wands. So the 9 of Wands does signify conflict, and that you are currently in a cycle of conflict, or like a battle, you're fighting, to overcome opposition, and that you have been wounded in the past, and that you're feeling quite alone in this energy. The first card we have today is the Page of Swords. So this can represent a young person in your life. It can also represent a message. So there might be an important message coming in, someone bearing like a sword of truth. And this is to clarify this charm energy and abundance. Then we have the Moon, and the Moon is a very mysterious card. There's always some unknowables here. It's very much linked in with the intuition and more introspective energy. So you might find at this time that there's like an inner knowing about things, and this is linked to the Draupnir. So this wealth, this ever-renewing wealth, you may just intuitively know how that, where that lays in your life at this time. It's the crowning card too. So, I mean, it's often to do with the mind, but also the overview. So this is for the month of May. The next card we have to clarify Tia is the Six of Swords. So this is very much saying that you have been going through some hard times. However, you have gotten through it and you're going to safer shores now. So the boat symbolizes that you're leaving behind the conflicts and that you're moving on to better times. Which is nice having Tyr there, because he is the god of like justice and order and law and stuff. So it could be on those levels. Next one we have is the King of Cups. This is for the Knife or Miss. This is the new beginning. So this could be a new person entering your life. Could be a masculine, like say over 30, and of the water sign or prominent water in their chart. So it could be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and very sensitive and, you know, empathic and caring kind of person. Then for the Vikings, so we have the Nine of Cups. This is a really positive card. So it does represent like optimism and happiness and like fulfillment and things like that. So this journeying aspect, so going on this journey, you know, being pulled by the wind and seeking new shores, all that energy is very fulfilling for you at this time. For the Gjallarhorn, we have the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is about balance. It's often, it's to do with resources. So it's to do with the earth element, like Virgo's element here. However, it doesn't mean that there's an abundance of resources. It actually means you need to be a bit careful with them and, you know, deciding, prioritizing what is important and what is, you know, less than at this time with your resources and what you can do with them. Okay, for Hoda, to clarify Hoda, we have the Page of Cups. So this could be another young person, you know, a child up to late teens potentially, of the water suit again. However, this can represent a love offer. So can the King of Cups. So we do have a few cards signifying potential love offers here. It can be friendship, doesn't have to be relationship, but some, you know, someone offering to quench your thirst with some kind of emotional situation. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles. So this is to clarify Kaunan, which is all about transformation and fire. This is about, this is a very abundant card. It's often signified as like the wealthy man's daughter who has like everything she needs, and she's very independent and self-sufficient and pretty much can live her life freely, like considering she is a young woman and she's unmarried. So there could be a time, which is very Virgo too, you know, the independent woman, and but also very wise and very, you know, grounded and good with resources and things like that. So there could be some new energy in this area too. Then to clarify Naglfar, which was about some loss, there was some loss here. We have the Ten of Cups, which is like ultimate emotional fulfillment. Like there's nothing else that you need. You're completely satisfied on an emotional level. So even though there's some loss, you're okay, you know, emotionally. Okay, the next cards I'm going to clarify with are the Lenormand, and we have on the bottom the Tower. So the Tower always represents something big. It can even be linked with the government, big institutions, potential, if it's a journey, you know, it'll be overseas or somewhere, you know, far-reaching. Okay, so this is what we have. We have the lilies. So the lily is often about maturity and wisdom and peace. However, with the moon, it's a bit mysterious I mean, there is intuition here, and there's this inner knowing. So maybe you know that as you mature, this will become stronger, or as something matures. So something you're working on matures. With the Tower at the bottom of the deck, it does talk about the potential that with this mature card can also represent like sensuality and things like that. Can be feminine or masculine, but generally always mature. And so it can represent with the Tower potentially someone going into like government care, because the Tower is about like government and big institutions, and that's about maturity. So that can be linked there. This one, however, for our Viking and our Nine of Cups, is the magnifying glass. So this is about looking at the details. So maybe you need to look at the details about what is satisfying for you, because maybe that's something you hadn't realized, or there's something that you need to look at in more detail there. Next one we have is the man, the masculine. So there's a masculine involved here, whether this is you or your interest partner, lover. I'm not sure who this is. Someone significant, and they're linked to this Nine of Pentacles, Kaunan, transformative financial independence here. The next cards I'm going to pull from are the Kipper. On the bottom of the deck we have sudden wealth. Oh my goodness, sudden wealth. 777. So there was quite a few pentacles today. Okay, here with the lily now we have thoughts. So someone is thinking of this mature or maturity. Maybe someone's thinking about when they are mature, how things are going to be. Or they're thinking of someone that is mature. But there's someone thinking here about this situation. The next one we have is community. Okay, so you need to look at more detail at your community. Yeah. And the satisfaction and happiness you get from that. And maybe that's where the journey is here, because maybe you aren't very happy where you are. You need to find somewhere. Oh, the Lovers. Here we go. So this could be a new person coming in. Or it could be an old one, or a choice. Often the Lovers is to do with choice. Okay, next cards I'm going to pull from are the Norwegian runes. On the bottom of the deck we have Daggers. So Daggers is the rune of breakthrough, enlightenment, balance point, transformation, and awakening. And we did have in our Viking cards a few cards that matched up with that energy too. So the runes we have today are Perthro, Sewillow, and Ingwas. So here we have Perthro, which is about good omens, fate, unknown, initiation, and the occult. So there's a good omen. So if someone thinking about you is a good thing, and maybe even leading to wisdom about the inner, knowing about this opportunity. And then we have Sewillow, which is a good card for success, sensuality, wholeness, life force, and victory of the community. So there's this successful community. Maybe you are helping build this successful community, but you need to look at the details about how satisfying that will be for you. And then we have Ingwas, which is creation, wholeness, energetic burst, harmony, and evolution. Beautiful with the Lovers here. So that's a really positive card. So there's a creation here of harmony in love with this man and this financial independence and this transformation, breakthrough from pain. So the last cards I'm going to pull from today for Virgo for May are the Wilder ones. And on the bottom of the deck we have newfound liberty. I'm free to follow the path of my choosing. Wow, that sounds very much like the our Nine of Wands there we had. First card we have is free time, awareness, and awakenings. My progress has purpose and is divinely guided. Lovely. Then we have, this is the central card. Small trials, annoyance. I see every situation with love. So there may be this may be a bit of a trial, you know, I mean, not the community, but maybe the details, looking at the details and potentially the journey as well. And then the last one we had is regeneration, new growth, and strength. My body heals itself and remembers its original blueprint. Lovely. And that was to do with growth as well, creation. Lovers. Yeah, new growth and strength. So transformation through pain. So that's your reading for May, Virgo. When it comes to the true sky, there could be some challenges there because we do still have 3 planets in Pisces, which is your opposition. So we've got Mars and Saturn and Neptune still there. So they could be opposing your Virgo placement or placements. However, Uranus and Venus are in Taurus, so they could be trining your Virgo placements. And also Pluto is in Capricorn in the true sky, so that could be trining your Virgo placements as well. So that is very transformative with the Pluto and the Uranus, both of them trining potential Virgo placements. We do have... I mean, the Aries isn't that significant for the Virgo. However, after the 13th, the Sun does move into transit into true sky Taurus. So you might find that after that time might be a more beneficial time in this month for you because Taurus also trines Virgo. I hope you have a fantastic month. If you've made it this far and you've gotten anything out of the reading, if you could please like, comment, and subscribe, that would be amazing. Thank you to everyone that already has. And I hope you have a great month ahead, and I'll be back with another reading again soon. Bye.